G'day guys, it's Dave here from New Zealand Outdoor Blades. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton and I'm learning a lot and enjoying talking to people all over the world about my various hobbies. Today I'd like to do a video on New Zealand's most popular deer hunting cartridge, which is the 308 Winchester. This is also the most popular, arguably, deer hunting cartridge in the entire world. Why is that? Well, before we go into that, history is really important. Okay, during World War II, the United States used what is known to us as a 3006 cartridge. And here's one here. It's a very powerful cartridge with a long case. And they wanted to replace this with something that was powerful, but had a shorter case. And in the late 1940s, they experimented with a cartridge called the T65 experimental cartridge. Winchester picked up on this and said, well, the T65 would make an excellent deer hunting cartridge. So in 1952, Winchester bought out the 308 Winchester and chambered it in their bolt action Model 70, and the rest is history. 2 years later, in 1954, the T65 then became the 7.62x51 NATO cartridge, which became a commonly used cartridge. Then it still is in service today within the NATO community, including United States, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand. The 308 Winchester immediately became very, very popular. For a start, it was a military cartridge, and typically most of your NATO successful military cartridges become successful hunting cartridges as well. It was also great not only for military but police use, hunting, target shooting. So a huge amount of applications for this cartridge. Now, if you put this in the New Zealand context, at the time everyone was using 303s. Now 303s were a very good cartridge, still used by some today, but like the 3006, the 303 had a very long case length, and the 308 when it came out had a shorter case length and actually outperformed the 303. So if you're using a 303 and 30 calibers were very, very popular at that time, then why not go for a 308? It's got a shorter case capacity and it outperforms the 303. Now, the case capacity and the length of the cartridge is quite important here because effectively the 308 can be used in shorter medium action cartridges, which makes it very, very handy for rifle manufacturers. And typically shorter medium action cartridges are very, very popular for hunters. Now the 308 is powerful, it's versatile, there's lots of ammunition available for it. Okay, 30 caliber has always been popular for deer hunting, and it's also typically quite accurate. What I mean by that is your target shooters will tell you that often the 308 can be quite a forgiving cartridge in rifles. It's relatively easy to find a 308 load that your rifle shoots well with. Now, in terms of ballistics, the 308, and I've printed off some ballistics information online here. The 308 with typically a 150 grain is often used in this country, and Hornady produce the 150 grain with the SST projectile, and it's got a ballistic coefficient of 0.415 and a stated muzzle velocity of 2,820 feet per second. And right out to 500 yards, this gives you a foot-pounds energy at 500 yards of 1146. So it's an effective deer hunting cartridge that's got enough terminal velocity to be able to flatten a deer at 500 yards if you can shoot that far. With a heavier projectile, such as, and this is a Hornady ELDX 178 grain, it's got a higher ballistic coefficient of 0.552. So while not being as flat shooting as some other cartridges, it's very, very effective and still powerful and relatively flat shooting. So there we have it, the 308 Winchester. Interesting enough as well, the case was used to produce other cartridges. So the 308 here was also used to develop a case for the 708. So we got the 308 and the 708. They both came from the same parent case. And we have the 243 as well. The 243 is also a neck down 308. Another case that, or cartridge that came out from the 308 is a 260 Remington, which is a neck down 308. So there's a whole family of cartridges based on the 308. Anyway, I'm sure there's some people out there who know more about ballistics than me, but if you use a 308 or you've got any comments or experience or missed anything, please feel free to provide a comment. Hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. Cheers.